It is 3 o'clock p.m. Thursday, March 28, 2019. Every board member should have either received an electronic copy of the board package or a paper copy. With that said, our board meeting is hereby open with the call to order with the roll call.
Chairman Lewis,
Present.
Vice Chair Rose,
Here.
Commissioner Ovechowski,
Here.
Commissioner Henry,
Here.
Commissioner Adair,
Here.
Commissioner Turnbull,
Present.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Next, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Chairman Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Ovechowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Adair,
Yes.
Commissioner Turnbull,
Yes.
Next is public comment on agenda item only. Do we have any public comments on the agenda item? If not, moving forward. At this time, we have a presentation from Carl Workforce Development Program.
Come up and you can just stand right here. And,
Just stand here
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
face towards you guys?
yes. Or you can stand to the side.
What works
You
out?
know what? Why don't you stand to that side? It's closer. So the audience can see you and the camera guy can see you also. So commissioners, all you guys have this document that I passed out. This is what you'll be presenting on. And actually, there's a couple extra for any audience members that would like a copy of it. It's over at the table by the agenda.
Hi there. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Lou Ann Shillhouse, and I'm the Workforce Development Program Leader for Carl. So my background with Carl, I moved to the Champaign area in 2009 and started with Carl in our HR department. Worked a couple of areas in recruitment, then as an HR business partner. And then in 2016, Dr. Leonard, our CEO, had an idea where he and his wife wanted to gift to a project that would involve contributing more to our community. And he reached out to our HR department and asked, what does that look like? What are some things that you see as far as initiatives? So we implemented what we now call the Job Readiness and Learning Program. So our first program started in September of 2016. So just to give you a little background on, why we did this and what this type of program is, we realize at times that Carl, as a major employer in the community, is sometimes not the easiest to get into, and opportunities, and we hear that from individuals that have a number of applications and being seen, and how do I develop a career and an opportunity to do that. We also realize that Carl has an average census of 400 patients every day. And so people that come into our organization, it's hit the ground running. And if you've not had a background, or if you maybe have not had that kind of success in backgrounds, and that you can quickly just get caught up in it, and it can be a challenge to succeed in that. So what this program developed is we've set up where it's a 6-week training program. So we bring individuals in, and these are entry levels in our sports service department for that. Mainly, a lot of our departments fall in EVS, our housekeeping, food service, storeroom, patient transport, and some in our sterile processing. So individuals come into this program, and it's a 6-week program. Now, the key point that I think is very important in this, individuals are hired through Carl at the time. So this isn't, hey, try it and we'll see if we want to buy it type of thing. This is, we are committing to you in this program to come in and go through this and then be full-time employed through Carl. So the 6 weeks start out with full classroom for the first couple of weeks, and you'll see that kind of broken out in your brochure. And then it's starting to integrate into the departments that they're going to be working and training into that. And then from there, then integrating fully into their departments from that point. And so what's interesting with this is that this is not some real out of the can type of training that you have. You'll see some of the topics that people are trained on, but they're trained in real life scenarios. So when we talk about resilience to someone, we're talking about when you are working in your department and you have these kind of things that happen. how are you going to respond to them? When you have these kind of interactions and crucial conversations with supervisors, we're taking real life scenarios that they're going through on a regular basis and walking them through those pieces. We have 28 different speakers. Many of those can come from our vice president level that come and give and spend time working with this group and talking about what it is to be successful at Carl. Then I'm one of the major coaches, and I have one other person that's a daily coach. So when we go through the 6 weeks, it doesn't stop there. From there on, we go into what I had kind of described when I met with the Housing Authority group, is it's one-on-one coaching and it's career pathing, because we realize I don't want individuals that come into this program and that's where they stay forever, because we want them self-sufficient. We want some idea of a career plan that they do. So I incorporate what's called the Dream Manager that works with people as far as setting some goals, looking at some priorities. Those are professional, educational, financial, and personal goals. Try to get some base hits, some success of some of the things that they're doing, and how do they then apply that to different career paths that they can move within Carl and that. So to date, we have run, I told you it started in 2016. We've run 16 groups. I want to make sure I say it, six groups. We've run 6 groups so far. We have a total of 53 participants that have completed the program. Our success rate and our retention rate right now is right about just under 80% that we have. So we have 42 that are there. Many of these candidates that have been in our program have completed certifications, food service certifications, different levels of housekeeping certifications. Some of them have moved to different roles. We have 2 that are recently going to move into a mentor role. My most exciting one is that we have an individual that started in our first group in food service. Her name is Shelby, and she's okay with me sharing that. So Shelby started in our very first group in 2017, in the fall of 2017 in food service. She became a mentor for everyone that came into that department afterward, working with them, kind of straight up having some crucial conversations with them at times about what works and what doesn't work in our culture. Kind of was a sideline for us. This last month, she received what's called a Pinnacle Award at Carl. Pinnacle Award is one of the highest awards that you can receive in our organization if you're not clinical. So she received this award, and then right like a week or so after that, it was found that she had interviewed and she has been accepted into our MA to CMA program.
That's good.
So she's going to now start her career path and moving more into a clinical area in that. So that's one of the first great successes that we're seeing for that. And I'm happy to be invited here today, because I think that some of the work that the Housing Authority, some of the work that each of you are doing within your areas and the people that you reach out to might identify those individuals that would be key individuals for our program. And we are looking to every 6 weeks. So I will run 4 more of these before the end of this year. My goal is by the time we end this year that we have hired just this year 80 in addition to what we already have in our program. So we're looking to really grow this and move forward. So that's why we took the opportunity to come and speak with you. I want to introduce a couple of individuals that have come in. Tricia Jones is our Director of Talent Acquisition. Maddie Coleman is our Manager of Talent Acquisition.
Hello, everyone.
And they're very involved along with in making sure that we identify individuals that can come in and have success in our organization. So.
Well, why I asked her to come and present was that I was so excited to hear about this program, and she was equally excited that we had clients that our focus is moving to work. So we want to make sure that they have opportunities of employment and build a relationship for long-term employment. And so we're working together to figure out how we can partner a little more closer to ensure that our clients, one, know about it, and we can track our clients' level of success within this program. So I asked her to come and just present to the board members. If you guys aren't aware of it, now you are, and you can also share it with some of your other involvements throughout the community where more people can hear about this program. So if you guys have any questions?
How long has this program been in existence? How long have you had it?
Just since 2017. We had our first group in September 2017. So we are about to run, it will be our 6th group that will start Monday.
Have you partnership with Illinois Unemployment Office? Are you with them? You are.
What we do is, and that's a great question, because what we have done is partnered with several of different regional planning commission, WIOA, those type of thing, Department of DHS, and those areas that we're working with. Rebecca and I just met last week, and so what we're looking at is reaching out to those individuals so that they absolutely come through our hiring events we have at the office off of Mattis. And
What
that we
about
work with.
Adult Ed, in partnership with them? That's a good program. Adult Ed in Urbana, the ones that grow,
You know,
and Parkland College, the GED
we
program.
work with Parkland and their GD and Adult Ed. I'll be honest, I need to reach out to because a few of our individuals on their own are receiving their GEDs through Urbana Adult Ed.
And another good one would be Lincoln Challenge.
Lincoln Challenge.
Yeah.
Very nice, because I just had, in our last event, Cunningham Children's Home brought a couple of their transitional people, and so we've reached out for them, but I hadn't thought about Lincoln's Challenge, so I appreciate every feedback and anything that individuals have for us to be able to reach out and communicate this program, because I am incredibly passionate about it. What I love about it is that it not only is just me doing this alone. I have an entire HR department behind me, but we have an entire organization. This last week, I don't know if you heard this in the news, but Carl received magnet designation again, which is great for us as a hospital. To be magnet means that you have the top level of nursing in that.
Right.
When they were announced that we received magnet, there's an exemplar award. JRLP, Job Readiness Learning, was one of the items mentioned in that as far as what we're doing within the organization. So I love it when it gets that kind of attention, because that means that nurse managers talked about it. So that means nurse managers are partnering with this program, and they want these individuals to come and succeed in their department. So it's just an organizational commitment to it that I think is really, really important to its success.
One last comment would be, with your program, are you willing to take re-entry, like people getting out of prison? Or you don't have that on your program?
Well, you know, I won't say no to that in reference to we're working, Tricia and Maddie and I work very, very closely on different pieces, and I would say we have some individual cases that we're very structured and we work through. I don't know if you want to speak any piece to that, either one of you, but I don't say no to that, because I think that we always are looking at how can we do it? Is it something that's viable?
First followers would be the first person you would contact with that. Then that way you can see if it intercedes in your policy with felons or something like that. That way you need to know that, because you might not have that in your clause. You might have to rewrite it. I don't know. But that'd be a good idea.
Okay.
Okay?
Could you speak a little bit about what it takes to get involved in the program? So when people, and correct me if I'm wrong, start off in like the learning classroom-based portion of it, they have already been hired on.
Yes.
What is the process like before you get to that point?
Wonderful. The events that we have at the Regional Planning Commission, for instance, our next one will be May 30th, because we already have the individuals, we had it about a week ago, that are going to come in the next one. May 30th will be our next event, and so prior to that, on our website, we will list opportunities. We will also have flyers, the Regional Planning Commission, Department of Human Services. We flag out the flyer to all of those areas so that they introduce people, so they can call our HR department and apply through that avenue, or they can call regional planning and speak to one of the individuals there. Her name is Sherry, who's the contact for us within regional planning, and identify that. Or people can walk in on May 30th and they will be seen. So the hiring managers are out there, human resources out there. I screen all the walk-ins, but I will tell you, any walk-in that I talk to, unless they're not interested in the program, they get an opportunity to speak with those. Now, from there, we do make selections on individuals, but there are some times where an individual might not be selected in this group, but we'll work with them. We have a really great talent acquisition partner that she will follow up with them and say, give them some feedback on it, and then maybe invite them to come back again for another opportunity the next time. Does that answer everything, question?
I had a question. How large are the classes?
The classes, we like to keep them right at 10. This next class that I have is going to be 14. It's a little bit larger. We have, our training room is actually an old break room that's right down in EVS, and I love it because it's right there along with, they get to see what's going on in the hospital, they get to be engaged with the leaders in these departments and that. But I think that if we go over, we'll see how 14 goes, but I think that there's a real reason why you want to keep it right kind of at those numbers, because there's a lot of one-on-one coaching that has to go along at that time.
Thank you.
Have any other questions from any of the commissioners? If not, I'd like to thank you for your presentation.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Next, we have approval of the minutes on February 28, 2019. Need a motion?
So moved.
Roll call?
Chairman Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rose.
Yes.
Commissioner Obachowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Adair.
Yes.
Commissioner Turnbull.
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
Next, we have old business. Last month, we tabled Resolution 2019-06, approval of the no trespass policy.
Well, we heard the community's concerns and some of the board members' concerns, and we took a look at that policy. Again, what we're doing with that policy is updating the policy that we had on our books for a number of years. We took a look at the current members of the community that was on the trespass list, and it was probably 200-300 people that were still on that list. It was a young lady that kind of sparked the idea of changing it by calling in. When she was 16, she was put on a ban list for a curfew issue, and it was causing her not to be allowed to be on housing. And so we started talking as a team and start working toward that trespass policy, to start revisiting it and start focusing on what we can do to remove people off that list. And so that sparked our opportunity to revise it. And after last board meeting, we had an opportunity to work with Ms. Pat and the tennis union, and to collaborate together. And so I discussed it with her and a number of other community members, and they appreciate the changes that we made and support our ideal in terms of making that change. So I asked the board to approve our changes for the trespass policy.
Does the board have any questions?
I just have one question.
Yes.
First off, thank you for the changes, it's much improved. I have one question based on past policy or procedure, which is in the past under the old website, the names of everyone ever banned from Housing Authority with their offense was listed publicly so anyone can see it. And I found this to be a violation of privacy, and at the same time, it's important to know who's on the list so that people who are having visitors over know who might be. So I'm just wondering, from a procedure standpoint, if you have thoughts about how to protect privacy while ensuring that folks know kind of who's on the, while having transparency, I guess.
Yes. Well, that's something that we've talked about and looked at. Our policy states that it should be posted at the sites. And our goal is to maybe have it posted in the management's office so that anybody can't just get to it. And we will not be putting it on the internet, that's for certain. We will not do that. Because once it's there forever.
Exactly. It's it just was very stigmatizing, like for the young lady with the curfew at the age of 16. I would have been on that list, so, would be nice at age of 46 to not have to have that on the internet.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have internet back then, did we?
We did not have internet. Thank you, David, for reminding me of my age.
Oh, no, I'm talking, me also, so yeah.
I had one quick question. In the ban procedure section in the second paragraph, it says any individual whose period has expired or who's no longer considered a threat shall be removed from the ban list. Did you have any comments on sort of what constitutes no longer being a threat? Is that after somebody has, again, I think the appeal process that has been updated looks really great. Is that related to that no longer a threat portion, or is it just leaving some
and over time also, right? So if somebody offended for threatening Miss Jones, in a sense, Miss Jones no longer with us, there's no need to keep that person. We're not trying to make a list to keep people on forever. Just like in our policy of screening, we want to screen in. So we want to make sure that, do people follow the rules? Right. Do we protect our clients that we serve? Yes. Do we protect our property and buildings and staff also? Yes. But we're not trying to hurt and harm anybody. So that's why we updated the screening, the review process. At one point, our last policy stated that they had only 30 days from the time of notification to get an appeal. Now it's open-ended. They can get an appeal when they want to appeal. So
Great, thank you.
Yes.
That-
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve item 6, resolution 2019-06, approval of no trespass policy.
Roll call.
Chairman Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rose.
Yes.
Commissioner Ovechowski. Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Adair,
Yes.
Commissioner Turnbull,
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
Next, we have our Chief Executive Officer report.
And so, just like I asked the presenter to stand over here, I'm gonna stand over here also, because it's kind of better instead of standing in front of commissioners. I'm pretty sure they, like my muscular back, but you don't want to have to see that constantly. So come, Ms. Lee, come up, please. And Tamika, come up also. And so, one of the things that we really started is to try to show more appreciation to our staff, and we are doing it in a number of ways. One way we're doing that is to recognize Employee of the Month each month. That Employee of the Month is recognized from staff members along with the leadership team, and the team members has an opportunity to provide information why they feel this individual should be Employee of the Month. Each Employee of the Month is put into a list, and the commissioners at the end of the year selects Employee of the Year. So far, we have one Employee of the Year. That's something that just started, and we had a number of Employees of the Month. So this month, Ms. Lee, I want to say congratulations for all your hard work, and you're this month's Employee of the Month. Ms. Lee works in the voucher program department, and I'll allow her supervisor to say a few words before we give her awards and take a few pictures.
As you stated, Deborah, she started in the Housing Choice Voucher Program. She started off as a temp through Express back in late of 2017 and became permanent employee of the Housing Authority in 2018. Part of her responsibilities, she sends out the packets and things for our annual recertification. She does a thorough job trying keeping everything in a timely fashion, which has really helped with our recertifications being in a completed in a timely way. So, Deborah, the Housing Choice Voucher Program, we appreciate you and all of your hard work that goes into it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. One thing I do want to say, her smile is amazing. I don't care if you're having a bad day or what, you walk around the office and you see her, she's smiling and it's big, and I just want to say I appreciate that. Sometimes people don't smile, sometimes I don't smile enough. And so that just shows how much you enjoy being here. So again, I want to say thank you. And an Employee of the Month gets a gift card, a certificate, along with an award, a T-shirt, and again entered into an opportunity to become Employee of the Year. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you had anything you wanted to say.
Just thank you to Champaign County Housing Authority. I am really glad to be a part of the team. When I moved here, I didn't know anyone. One person working in housing had allowed me to meet a lot of different people, and my housing family is just like my family.
Let's pose for a picture real fast.
Am I in the way?
Make sure I smile good.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Now, as always, in terms of the remainder of my report, I passed out a report in the board packet to the commissioners so they can view some of the activities that we've had going on throughout this month. There's a few items I want to point out and just focus on for just a few minutes. First, that our new Deputy Director, Chief Operating Officer Tiffany Gonzalez is on board, and This is our 4th day at work, and we had her working very hard all week so far.
They haven't run me away yet.
So it's a few items that I just wanted to mention. Earlier this week, the Housing Authority was able to be a part of an event that discussed why affordable housing matters. It was an event conducted in collaboration with Wheel TV Online News and Illinois News. And it was a great event. Commissioner Rose was there in attendance also. In your folder, you have 2 handouts that I have given you. One of those handouts, it talked about the law that was passed in 2017 by the state of Illinois, allowing the opportunity for school districts to provide housing assistance for homeless students' families. And so that's a law that, as a school board member before, I wasn't aware of, and also as a houser, I wasn't aware of. So I heard about that law at that meeting that we were at, and I wanted to make sure the board knew about that. And any other attendees of this board meeting that didn't know about it, now you know about it. And we need to encourage and make sure that since that law is in effect, that our school districts stepped up to the table. The bad thing about the law is an option. The school districts have an option whether they want to help or not. But as citizens, we have an opportunity to discuss it with our school boards and our officials and just help in that way. And I can guarantee, I don't want to speak on behalf of my board, but as the CEO of the Housing Authority, we'll be at the table trying to make sure those students and those families are able to have housing to the best way of our abilities. So this program also asks that community utilize the wraparound service to help grow the families so they can be have stationary housing and be sustainable. But the goal is to ensure that the kids have a solid opportunity to gain a great education. So I wanted to make sure I share that with you guys. Also, Facebook is facing a housing discrimination lawsuit from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And so that should be an interesting read. This was something I was made aware of, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about. And sometimes I'm on Facebook, and I see that landlords posting information about we don't rent to Section 8 people or things like that. So I don't know all the details about this lawsuit. I just saw it today, but I wanted to make sure I shared it with my commissioners so you guys can be aware that, HUD from the top down, we're working to try to fight housing discrimination throughout our industry and throughout our various communities. We even have to fight online also. And coupled with that, we're sending a number of our staff to Springfield, the complete voucher program staff, to Springfield for fair housing training. Like I said before, we're dedicated to ensure that our staff is educated and know what they're doing and relate to dealing with some of the most vulnerable clients in our community. And me and Tamika sat down and talked, and she asked, was it okay if her whole staff can go? And I said, that's great. It's a training that's close. They can drive down and come back. And so we've had great opportunity for our staff to be trained. It's cost efficient for our organization, and it's beneficial for our clients. So
where is this located at the
It's in
training?
Springfield. It's part of a conference, the Illinois Agency.
Maintenance and management.
Yeah, maintenance. It's the Illinois Association of Housing Authorities. They put on a yearly maintenance and management conference. Also, John and a couple of our maintenance leadership staff will be attending to understand those activities. And so we want to support that event, but also learn from it. I don't plan on attending. I may go drive down one day. It's a group meeting where we discuss and have votes on different things. So I may drive down for that and come back. But I believe this is a great conference and a great opportunity for our staff to be educated on issues and situations that affect our clients right here in Champaign. Also, you can see in the packet, I sent 2 letters of support out. One was for a grant for Prairie River Networks, which is an organization focusing on informing the community about solar in a way to lower utility rates. So we're working. We are dedicated to working with them to help educate the community and our clients and our landlords on ways that they can receive grant opportunities to get solar power on their buildings, on their homes. We talked about maybe developing a solar farm to try to help some of our clients. At the end of the day, that's an opportunity for our clients that's less fortunate already to pay less and utilities, so they have more money that they can dedicate to other situations within their household. So I'm hoping that we get that grant here in the Champaign, Urbana area, and we can help benefit our clients that's low income in that sense. The second was a letter of support to Illinois House of Representatives on repealing the Rent Control Act. Last year, around August, I believe it was, they had a meeting here in Champaign area at U of I, and I was asked by the Senate Special Committee on Housing to testify at that hearing, and this is just a follow-up and show that organizations within the state are still working hard to let them know that we need to create change in that situation where we can have repeal that Rent Control Act. Right now, as it stands, the act is saying that, you know, is no rent control. And so landlords can charge what they want. We're a landlord also, so I understand that we need money to continue to update our buildings and keep our buildings, you know, safe, decent, and sanitary for our clients. However, sometimes it's ways to price gouge and discriminate against some of the clients, because everybody can't afford to live in some of the communities that they grew up in and want to stay in. So I'm happy that we're supporting that, and we've been at the table from the beginning. I'm supporting that idea. In the package, you'll see that Rodney Davis was here, and he had an opportunity to see the progress on the work that was done on Haven, which he was a part of the groundbreaking. And, you know, we was able to give him his shovel that we had for him. It was a great opportunity, but one of the things I did want to say is that a young group of men, it's a mentoring group, Boys to Men group here. They went on spring break to D.C., and, you know, networking and connections is so important. I met with the group, and they were saying, hey, you know, we're going to D.C., we want to do this, we want to do that, and we don't know how we'll get it done. I said, okay, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. I won't say I did it, but I said, Lily, would you please contact Rodney Davis' office and work on them allowing our young men from this community to be exposed to some greatness. And the greatness that they were exposed to was the halls of Congress. They had a self-guided tour by Rodney Davis staff and, on the halls of Congress in D.C., along with tickets for over like 25 people, I believe it was, for the African American History Museum. So that's a tough ticket to get, especially for a group of that size that didn't pre-plan, and he made it come to fruition. So I appreciate your hard work with that, Lily, and you know, continually building networks and opportunities to help benefit our clients. Like I said before, as a houser or the leader of a housing authority, I'm more than just a houser. I'm a community leader. So we got to help our kids. We got to help our seniors and people with disabilities and everybody. So we have to share the wealth and ensure that they have that. Exposure is the best thing that young people can have, in my opinion. Okay, I have a meeting next month in April with the new Public and Indian Housing Assistant Secretary of HUD, Hunter Kurtz. And, you know, I plan on talking to him about a few issues, some of our concerns, since I am involved with the industry groups in housing, but also some of our local concerns here in the Champaign area. One is why our MTW plan hadn't been approved as of yet. We have some unique programs that we're working on. We have some amazing policy changes that help benefit our clients that we serve, and we've been waiting for a number of months so far in order to get that approved. So hopefully, you know, that meeting can help bring to fruition some of those goals that we have locally, but also as a nation of housers overall. And that's all I had to report on, unless, lastly, I just wanted to say, we sent out over 4,931 constant contact emails providing communication to our citizens and everybody that signed up for our contact list this month alone so far. And we have an over 70% response rate, both on mobile devices and desktops. The system that we utilize, we get to track to make sure that our information is being heard. And we don't just talk about the housing authority, we talk about any information that we receive about the park district, about the cities. Any information that's provided to us, we share it so that individuals will know about it, because those are our clients and the community members overall. So Ashley is our main person that's in charge of that, so I appreciate that, and thanks for providing the numbers for me. If that's all I have to report on, unless any of the commissioners have any particular questions or concerns. Okay, but we can start with the operation reports, and Anna, you're up first. Oh,
All right, so the local self-sufficiency department, I just pulled some numbers as of March 13th. Total number of active head of households and adult household members right now is 787. Only one family is currently under proposed termination. That seems to be the trend lately because I'm reporting these numbers every other month and some other types of numbers every other month. 47 heads of households or adult members are exempt due to disability. 17 are pursuing their GED. 106 are pursuing college degrees. 475 have employment goals, and 82 of them are pursuing job training programs or other programs that lead to a certificate. As of January 2019, 9 households voluntarily left the program, and 24 households are under a 90-day deadline for compliance. The biggest thing that we have achieved last month was we were able to partner with Crisis Nursery on 3 slots so we can ensure people have childcare because that's been the biggest barrier for them to go get job training. So we're referring them out to Job Club at the WorkNet Center, and they are insured 3 slots. So we're going to do that as a trial, see how it goes, and Crisis Nursery is going to keep assessing the use of those slots, and if it's becoming more of an issue, then they will consider opening up more slots for us so people can get job training.
and is that per slots per meeting?
Per family.
Per family?
Well,
No,
so like 3 childcare slots, and so right now,
per meeting though, right?
yes, I'm
per-
sorry,
okay.
yes, because the classes are like 6 weeks out there at WorkNet
Okay,
Center.
yeah.
So, yeah, so 3 slots right now, and then they'll continue to reassess those monthly.
Very good.
Yeah.
Question.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hannah. The data is super helpful. The February 2019 data shows that 25 voluntarily left the program. Does that mean just in the month of February, or is that cumulative?
That was cumulative.
As
So,
of?
As of like the beginning of, well, it was towards the end of last year. So I was totaling how many had left because we were just experimenting with that. And so that's the number we came up with.
So is it over how many months would that cover? Like it's 25 over what time frame?
Couple of months period.
Okay,
Yeah,
a 2-month period?
yeah.
And does that tend to be a larger, is that number
Well,
pretty standard that it would be 25?
That's what we're trying to see because we're noticing that people are leaving earlier than they used to because they're becoming self-sufficient more
Okay.
or they just don't. I mean, some of them really, to be quite honest, don't want to deal with, again, I mean, we just had a family where they were referred to us, we sent an appointment letter, and then the next day, they turned in paperwork to show that they had 2 jobs, and they were close to 0 half anyway.
Okay.
They're almost ready to pay
So
their
then
own
they
rent.
decided, so there's different, yeah, it would be helpful, and I had asked this of the U of I researchers as well, to just follow closely the reasons why people
Yeah.
either are not able to
And we are
complete
doing
or
that
voluntarily.
as well, so I'm gonna start looking at that and printing reports of that as well.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
So we did try to, just to follow up some, we did look at how we can improve some of our data. And we started looking closely at why people left, why people was not selected to be a part of our program so that we can understand why, maybe look at our policy changes. That's how we decided to make some policy changes already. So we are improving that data network so we can use it intelligently.
Yeah, it's clear, this is a lot more data than we had when I first got on the
Yeah.
commission, and it's
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I found out too from talking to a lot of younger people about working and then getting a check, a lot of them have this perception as they're going to work and they got to pay their money out for rent. They don't want to work because they ain't getting no money out of it. They want to work and keep their whole check, but they can't do that when they go out in the working world. They got to pay bills. So a lot of them think in that kind of way.
Right.
And I can't stop that thinking, but that's what they think like. Because many have told me that. And then some of them work and stop their job because they got to pay bills. I said, no, you still gonna have to work when you're living out in the world because you got to pay your bills out there. But some people, when they haven't worked for a long time and they start to work, they're trying to play catch up. And they seem like when they're getting their check, they got to pay it out for something and they ain't got nothing yet. So what they getting out of it? So that's what I get.
Right, and when those young adults come to see us, we try to educate them about those things so that they can prepare their thinking for being out there.
So what is that initiative y'all get when they first start working? Is it so many days they get to buy them clothes for working and different stuff, and then they start paying, or they start paying right away? How do they do that?
Initially, if they come to us and they don't have work or they're not going to school, then we give them a time frame, the 90 days to get in compliance, and we educate them about resources, places they can go for jobs, whatever they need. And then once they get that job, they have 60 business days to report that income.
So that's 60 days they have to buy them some shoes, to do something like that, and then they have to report it, or they need to get that income report. How does that work? I'm just trying to figure out how they get themselves started. Like, when you first start a job, you might not have the proper shoes, you might not have the proper this. So do y'all give them you give them 2 months before they start reporting their income? They can use that money to get their shoes and get themselves together, or what happens?
They have 60 calendar days to report changes of income. So whatever they do between that time from their start until those 60 days are up, they have 60 calendar days to have to report that income.
So that's the initiative, those 2 months to use that money to get yourself together?
Yeah, whatever they may need,
Okay, and then when they get off the program, you're saving money while you're on the program, a little of your check goes to the bank, so when you get off of it, you have a little saving where you can buy yourself a car, or put you down on a home, or how do you do that? What happens?
We have, being an MTW agency, we don't have a family self-sufficiency program. That's the family self-sufficiency program where as the client's income increase, we put it in an escrow form, and then the escrow grows over a 5-year time frame. They set their goals, and at the end of that time frame, they get a check. So we don't have that program.
You don't have that in the moving to work?
We don't have that. We have a local self-sufficiency program, which is different. We just encourage and help individuals to get education and have work and provide opportunities for them not to be terminated because of the work requirements that we have in our program. But our LSS program is doing a little more. They're starting to do more events and feature and credit report, credit repair, and other type of activity, financial literacy
classes once a month.
With the Moving to Work program, they'll have that where you can help their individuals learn how to save a little bit of their check, where they can have it like the escrow, or do you have that implemented in the Moving to Work?
We send them to the workshops, and then there are programs out there that we send them to, like the No Limits program that do have that piece where they can do more intensive case management.
Okay. I think that would be a good idea, because you're working check to check, you don't got nothing to show for it but paying bills, and you got nothing, so they need to know, if they get to be self-sufficient, how you can save to buy yourself a house. How can you save to buy yourself a car? Is there any money left other than your check and you're waiting for the next check? Hallelujah.
Right.
Yeah, the money management courses, stuff like that. We don't do it ourselves. We partner with organizations that's already doing it. We increased our partnership and increased the number of events we have for our clients to utilize those type of activities.
But it's not built into the Moving to Work.
It's not built into it directly.
They should build that in there. Because that's Moving to Work, and Moving to Work is building goals, how to plan past the work. Do you want to buy a home? Hallelujah. Do you want to have something saved? Because after you're working, how do it feel as an adult? You get your check, you pay all your bills, you got nothing left. And with them, they're on this program, you get your check, you pay, you got nothing left. Even when you get off the program, you don't even got nothing to buy yourself a home or a car, nothing saved.
Okay. Any other?
Go
ahead.
I was going to ask Robin to come up and do her report.
Where do you want me to go? Okay, so really the only differences from when this report was submitted, Washington Square is now, their occupancy rate is 99%.
Okay.
That's good. Steer Place is, well, as of tomorrow it will be. And as of early next week, Steer Place will be at 96%. So all the others are 100%. So we're getting there.
Okay, that sounds good.
Again, work orders are good. Collection, rent collection is good. I did want to report, though, that since Chris has been going to the properties with the healthy aging for seniors, they have seen 9 people. They started there in February. Since then, they've seen 9 residents at Steer Place and 20 here at Washington Square. So I just think it's going to be slow going, but it seems like it's picking up. So.
And just so the audience and the commissioner members, that's the group that we worked with to apply for a grant so they can provide staffing in our senior buildings to help our clients in needed situations. So earlier this year they started that activity and it's been producing for our clients.
Yeah, and they help with all sorts of stuff, like they helped here with filling out their recertification packets. They help with getting a license plate discount, you know, so whatever they need, it seems like they can help with.
Making sure all their Medicaid and Medicare stuff is correct and they're getting the full benefits that they deserve. And because a lot of times people don't understand what they need to report or how to fill out the paperwork, and studies show that most seniors have the ability to get more help and don't understand why they don't have that ability, so they do that work for us also here.
Very good.
Any questions for Robin?
No.
Well, Tamika, you can go over there by Tiffany also. And we make you walk away.
I just stood up.
All right, as I said in the last board meeting, I did anticipate the MTW tenant-based vouchers to go down slightly just because of the government shutdown. So it did only go down about 1, so I was excited about that. But as far as now, we have sent out 180 eligibility packets from the wait list for the month of March so far. And out of that 180, only 4 have returned packets, and so we're trying to get them approved and things like that. Our wait list consists of, we have 515 left on our wait list for our MTW voucher program, and so we'll probably be exhausting that soon because we're trying to go ahead and exhaust it, and hopefully we'll be able to get a new one started. Okay? And then the mainstream vouchers, it's not on the occupancy report, and I do apologize about that. It will be on the next one. We have started leasing up those 28 vouchers. We have 20 total approved so far, and 7 have leased up, so I'm super excited. It took a while for them to find housing, which is okay because they do have a total of 120 days to look. But so far 7 have leased up.
Just so you understand, that's a special program that we had an allotment from HUD. We applied for a grant and received 28 additional vouchers, which I think it was close to $280,000 a year, maybe something like that. Yeah. And so those individuals are hard to house individuals already because they're individuals with certain types of disabilities. So that's why it's taking a little long for those individuals to lease up, but I'm glad that it's moving along.
Yes.
We've been checking to make sure, so thank you for that.
Yes.
For the disability thing, excuse me, just real quickly, your disability qualification, how do that apply for some people? Because some people seem to think they have a disability and they don't have a letter from the doctor. So your disability qualifies. It has to be a letter from the doctor. It has to be person on SSI, or how do they qualify for that one, the mainstream?
Social Security Administration can diagnose someone as being disabled, and then as well as if they don't have then we do need to see something from a medical professional showing that there is a disability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be medical disability. And then if they get a disability check, that's automatically disability, right?
Right. So usually that's in the form of the SSI usually.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay.
And then also with the VASH, we have 1 that's been approved, and so voucher has been issued out, as well as Homestead. They finally did submit a packet to us, and so that number will increase as well once the unit gets inspected. So, yes.
Quick question about Homestead. When you say they submitted a packet, what does that mean? Because there have been 4 openings there for a while. Does that mean that they have rehabbed those spaces and they're able to take people from their wait list?
Correct.
For the 4?
Right. So what happens is Homestead, they just send us over once they approve someone. they actually send it over to us, just so that they make sure that it's actually under our guidelines and things like that, and then we enter everything. We still have to go out and do an inspection, and so oftentimes homestead, they take a little while longer, and so, they did submit a packet to us, so, yeah, it'll be.
So they submitted 4 approvals?
one.
Oh, just one?
Just
But they
one.
have the 4 spaces?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt? Could you go by tipping off? So next month, we'll be in our boardroom. So we won't have to worry about that. We have a designated spot for people to stand up and speak their reports along with public comments.
You good if we have a platform? You got a platform?
Not a platform for the stand. No, not like that. She's throwing us off now. Go ahead, Matt.
She thinks it's American Idol here. I think it's on the agenda that's presented.
Yeah.
Separate.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have to.
Okay. Need a motion for approval of fiscal report, February 2019 cash disbursement and detailed check report, as well as the budget to actual.
We usually wait till he presents it, then we take the vote.
Okay, so cash disbursements for the month of February, a total is $187,807.72, and then there's a detailed check listing following. I just wanted to highlight 3 items that were over $10,000 and not utility or insurance, any of those typical expenses. First one is found on page 35 of your packet. That was for Hickory Point Bank and Trust for $21,991. That was a check written so that we could purchase 2 cashier's checks for repayment of RAD funding that we received. At the end of our first year, 2018, RAD funding, they do basically a reconciliation and see did we overfund you, underfund you. They had underfunded us for 3 of our RAD developments so that we received additional funding, and then there was 2 that they had overfunded us, so they wanted us to write them, send them cashier's checks in the form of reimbursing those. So one of them, Hayes Homes, was for $8,902, and Columbia Place, $13,089. On page 36, the Real Guard's office products for $24,462.99. That was for delivery and installation of furniture at our new office on Market Street. And the last item is on page 45 for University of Illinois, $10,360.92. And that was for moving to work evaluation work during the month of January. Those are the only items I wanted to highlight. Any questions on the detailed checklist report?
Not, I'd like to entertain a motion.
I'll just, let me just cover the
Go ahead,
budget
go for it.
actual
Yeah.
part real quick. So last month, the board had approved the budget for 2019. And just wanted to highlight a few things. The first few pages are the Housing Authority-wide budget to actual, and following that is the property management portion of that, which is the RAD portfolio and affordable. So anything directly related to that, I'll highlight real briefly on those. But just wanted to go to the bottom line. If you look at central office, there was a $920 deficit. We did have, if you look back at the first page at the bottom, other contract costs of $4,931. That was higher than anticipated amounts or budget amounts for the month. We did have some outlying costs of rekeying the new office. There was an $1,800 charge for maintenance. The housing authority owns a tractor that had to be serviced. It's been a while since that had been serviced. Some repairs done on it. And then also a $1,770 pass-through expense for one of our sites that we managed that we just installed a security system. So that's what we had higher costs for the month of February for the central office. And then a bottom line for moving to work. Just a reminder, so there's negative cash flow, which is typical because there are no revenue items flowing into moving to work. It's funded through a moving to work block grant, part of the housing choice voucher funding. So we set aside money in our housing choice voucher funding to fund that. And then the business activity, there's a deficit of $19,290. The main funding source for that is utilization of developer fees. So we anticipate developer fees, we budget $250,000 developer fees for the year. Most of those will be later in the year, but we still spread the amount in terms of a budget evenly over the year. So anticipate that being funded by future developer fees. On the RAD and the affordable portfolio, we don't really have anything to point out other than on the affordable portfolio, we do still report costs for the scattered sites. As you know, we're in the process of transitioning away from those. We still have costs that we're incurring. We didn't budget anything for the year. Any budgeted amounts are funded through remaining operating subsidy that we get for the year. So we do report the operating subsidy under our moving to work as other income. So we have about $6,000 in operating subsidy that we're continuing to get on a monthly basis. So that funds the deficit that you see on the scattered sites you see a deficit of $3,800. So there's funding available to cover that, just so you know we just don't budget for that. Any questions on the budget to actual?
There are no questions, like to entertain a motion.
I move approval of financial reports, February 2019 cash disbursements and detailed check report, and February 2019 budget to actual.
Second.
Chair.
Seconding.
I did.
Motion and second.
We got a second?
Yeah.
Roll call?
Chairman Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Chair Rose.
Yes.
Commissioner Ovechowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Adair.
Yes.
Commissioner Turnbull.
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.
And I want to apologize. I was so excited to get to on the reports, the operation reports. I skipped the development report, which is something that's important. I'm pretty sure John would hold me hostage if I didn't allow him the opportunity to stand up and speak about the report. So
That's okay. I'm the middle child. I will just sort of embellish what's already in your package because there's been a few updates since this was submitted. At Bristol, just a couple of clarifications. It says we have 37 foundations as of when this was submitted. It says 7 foundations per day after the weather. That should be pouring the floors on what's already there. And this is reports from our last draw meeting. And they can start framing now. So once they get the first, it'll probably take 10 days once they start to get the first one completed. But once they reach that point, they should be able to complete 4 houses per week. So
Really?
that's good.
That fast?
Now that winter maybe is over.
based on weather.
So we're doing a little better there. At the Haven, we had our draw meeting yesterday and did some updates. And as you can see, we had some weather-related costs. There will be, we had some soil conditions that we're going to have to take care of. That'll be a little bit more money. And just so that you're prepared when it comes, Illinois American Water now has a new policy for their meters. Used to be that they would supply them and you would pay rent as a portion of your bill. Now you get to buy them. And for these buildings, they're about $6,000 a piece.
What?
Plus they have to go in a vault that's big enough that an excavator won't lift it. You have to rent a crane. So
When this
that'd be
happen?
a pretty significant cost.
Is this a
associated with that.
per household meter?
No,
each?
this is per building.
Per building, okay.
Sorry.
It seems to scared all of us quite a
And
bit.
this is for Haven, where we have,
Yeah.
one
that's-
big, large building.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a brand new program. We're one of the first lucky people.
So, John, will Bristol have to do that same?
I think they got in ahead because we did not have our plumbing permit for the Haven yet.
Okay.
So and that's how we got into that.
I'm not sure. I thought there was a little bit of a snafu for us as well, but that the developer handled it, so,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Jim didn't say anything to Brenshaw Scott. I was like,
Yeah.
who's going to pay?
Well, maybe not to you, but.
Lucky you. The ADA shower unit issue, that's been resolved. let's see what else is in here. I do have, we're still working with the employee list for the Section 3 hiring. There's not many people working there currently, just the underground work folks. But I do have an MBD compliance log that comes at the draw meeting, which is unfortunately the day before this meeting. So I can put this in maybe at a later date, but it'll be 30 days old. So, but we're in good shape there. The best news is that the sun came out for 30 minutes or so, and I have a foundation. We'll have wood on the site the second week of April, so wood is good. That means the delays should be over with pretty much. Oakfield Place is pretty much what's in the report there in front of you. Pinewood, we still don't have our environmental clearance. There's a public comment period in there that we're waiting on for that. But the building and the MEP drawings are completed. The soil testing, once again, because of the weather, just got done about a week ago, and you need the soil testing to do the civil drawings. So once the civil drawings are done, I'll have a bid packet, and we'll get that out on the street. And rural sites is just what's in your packet. And for the maintenance department, currently we've started having the last 3-4 months, we do a monthly staff meeting where we've been reviewing some policy changes. We have new leadership and we have to do things a little different, so we have to get my employees oriented to that and kind of review what their expectations are now. Also, I'm going to meet, since we've completed our personal evaluations, I'm going to meet individually with everyone just to talk, basically, because even when somebody complains, you can learn something. And so we'll meet individually and go through those things. David mentioned 3 of us are going to the maintenance clinic, which is, there will be training for the maintenance people, training for me, good place to network, even for just the maintenance guys. Because in the past, you make friends, and if you got a problem, you call somebody in Bloomington or Springfield that does what you do, and you share ideas. There's a round table for the same purpose. There's a maintenance competition, which we usually win, so that's good. And there's prizes for those guys for that. And you get access to vendors, and which is important for me, because I buy a lot of product. And so there's a whole room full of people that sell siding and windows and maintenance supplies and all that kind of stuff. The architectural services, engineering services. So you meet a lot of folks in there also. And I think that's it. Any questions?
The scattered sites. I know you sent me a report recently. What's the number again in terms of vacated and?
I should have printed that. We have 10 vacants. Yes.
10 vacants.
There's 10 vacants. 2 of them are the ones that we had set aside for the reentry program. One's on 4th Street, one's on L's that is vacant. 2 other houses that will be vacant by the end of April. There's another house on L's right next door.
Those should be actually vacant. The other 2 should be vacant by the end of next week.
Okay. So, and then there's one on Willis. 2 of them got demoed for Bristol, and the rest. Is there anybody else left to move out? I should have printed the email. The ones that have been vacated, that were in the reason we're vacating them is because they're in very poor condition. They're just boarded up when we shut the utilities off. They were to be part of a development project at some point, was the plan previously.
Now, the scattered site is part of the move to work.
Well, it's part of our portfolio, period. So we're getting rid of the scattered site properties other than the ones that we're donating, well, other than the ones that we're partnering with the 2 reentry programs. Our long-term goal with them is to demolish it and use it as a land bank, maybe sell them for income for the housing authority, or decide to do something later on it. But we don't want our structures, especially the poor-looking structures, to sit in the community. And so we're looking at how we can get them taken down.
Could those be used by Habitat for new housing or no?
What, the sites?
Yeah.
They may be. We haven't made any decisions for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John.
Thanks, John. And sorry, I won't forget about you next time.
Next is public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have any? public comment on non-agenda items? If not, is there a need for a closed session?
Yes.
Need a motion in regard to,
The personnel, possible litigation.
need a motion?
I move we move in a closed session to discuss items A and B with, we're going to take action, and after we reconvene, we will take action on any item we discuss.
Second?
Roll call?
Chairman Lewis,
Yes?
Vice Chair Rose.
Yes.
Commissioner Ovechowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Adair,
Yes.
Commissioner Turnbull.
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth.
Yes.